Hello, hello. Crazy. Oh, wait. Let me adjust this. Amazing. And my chair's a bit low. Oh, that's better. Okay, well, hello. One day, crazy. Can you believe it? What a quick turnaround. And there goes notification. We have nothing planned today. Crazy. There's an Acolyte video. What else is there? Why is my mic so high that I can't see my keyboard? Crazy. I was adding stuff before this, you know. We have a bunch of Acolyte stuff, okay? Drinkers Chasers. Acolyte episode 7. Worse than The Last Jedi. Is it worse? Have we finally got to that point? That's going to be crazy. I wonder if people actually think that. What else do we have Acolyte related? We have that episode 7 review that Miller the Killer said was good, apparently. Oh, wait, no, he didn't say it was good. He said that this mildly convinced him that the episode wasn't as bad as he thought, I think, or something. Which made me interested, because it was a pretty bad episode. We have a few of the boys related things. The boys in the episode that changed everything. I feel like we've seen this. I feel like it has to be about Herogasm. But that sounds crazy. There's no way it's that. Why the boys is scary. Pretty interesting. Oh, no, here, the Acolyte is good Star Wars. How interesting. A nice 12,000 view video about like defending the Acolyte. I don't really know what this is, but how exciting. Attack on Titan video. A Mother's Basement. I just wanted to see if Mushoku Tensei was on here, of course.
Isekai.
Let's see. The Elitist Gamer Isekai. Peak Power Fan. Oh, it doesn't. I thought those were the names of the things. I have no idea what this thing is. I also have no idea what this is. That looked cool. It was like weird. Oh no, I guess it was just some other thing. I have no idea what this is. Or this one. Or that. Or Jesus. Oh my god, here it is. Number 4. We made it. Fantastic. Now, as long as ReZero isn't higher than this, or Konosuba, oh my god. Of course, there we go. The funniest isekai. And I have no idea. Oh, and ReZero, great. Oh, we love Mother's Basement, don't we? What is this? Chrome isn't your default browser? True, it isn't. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Thank you, Mother's Basement. We love you. Sneaky Elite Ari. I just finished episode 4. Oh my god, of the Acolyte? That's crazy. But crazy. I didn't do the crossword yet, neither. Miller the Killer is a PCEE. Okay, interesting. Heath is dabbing. Thank you, Heath. Did you see all those boring idiots talking about Demon Slayer in our Discord, Elite Ari? I did. Yeah, true. I did. You know, I've only seen season 1 of Demon Slayer alongside the movie, Mugen Train. Is that what it's called? So I'm a bit behind. So I didn't want to get spoiled. That's not true because I've read the manga. I wanted to watch that isekai video too. Well, too bad I spoiled it. Escaflowne at 3, maybe. Based, one more than Mushoku Tensei. Demon, mid, more like it. True. We don't like Demon Slayer here. But what we do like, I was going to say the boys and the Acolyte, but is that true? Probably not. I guess we can get all the meme videos out of the way.
I am good.
This randomly showed off 30 years of business knowledge in 2 hours and 26 minutes. And I was like, what could you possibly say that goes on for 2 hours and 26 minutes? But I guess it's just like a bunch of topics. I'm curious. The intro. How to start a business with no money. How to win. How to lose. How to do a mind map. Oh my god, that's what Kai Entertainment does when he's coming up with ideas. That's crazy. How to find purpose. How to find a co-founder. How to sell. How to PR. How to get an investor. I want to watch a part of this. What is it? How to go global. How to get a mentor. How to go global. What is it going to say about that? It's the shortest section. We're all going to get enlightened here, okay? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Let's talk about how to go global. Now, why is going global one of my main points?
Oh my god, because you can make more money from people overseas.
It's because a lot of people don't realize that they can go global. A lot of people don't realize that they'll probably remove a lot of the risk in their business if they do go global. Why? Well, if you're in more than one market and the market you're in is in trouble.
Oh my god, genius. This is what Mr. Beast did. Remember when he started dubbing all his videos and he's like, you know, I have I have a very sizable non-English audience now, and blah blah blah. Great, what a genius, Mr. Beast ahead of his time.
Spread your risk. I've had this happen to me many times. In my early career with Fluid, we were just in Hong Kong, and it was risky. Hong Kong had a lot of ups and downs, and when we had the downs, I was subject completely to that down. I had no counterbalance with a business potentially in another market doing well. And going global, it turns out, is not difficult anymore. Often,
Oh my
people
god!
don't realize.
Wait, you could use the internet, right? Oh wait, let's see.
There are a few steps to allow your business to go global when you didn't think it was even possible. So what are those steps? First, identify whether there's an opportunity for your product or your service in another market. So research. And even if you don't want to open up that second office or sell that product in that market, once you understand what markets where this could work are, there's a couple of opportunities for you. Now, I could reverse back to raising money. If you're able to say to someone that you could open up your product in other markets with their investment, it can make an investor happy. That's just one example. It can make an investor actually go ahead and invest in you. Equally, like I mentioned earlier as well, if a brand wants to sponsor you to open up another office, this can be a way for you to grow your
Okay, so number one is research, okay? I think we got this. Okay, this is
business
good.
and you'll reduce your risk.
I think we're good at research
here.
here.
Research is key at this stage. Find out where your product could be sold, even if you don't want to do the work to do it. Second, you can basically set up models like franchising. So if you don't want to set up that business in another market, you can set up a brand franchising.
All right, we get the point. Okay, crazy. You know what? This is probably a better article than a 2.5 hour long video, but the clickbait title worked on me, okay? I already know every business knowledge there is to know. I believe you. I'm already global. True, we are global. There's probably people right now that are from different countries listening. Crazy. And then AER546 has done a cat emoji that I didn't even know existed. Crazy. All right. Well, that was a great meme video. What are the other meme videos I got on here? Oh yeah, the moment I knew Attack on Titan was different. What's it gonna be? All right. I have no idea what this is gonna be. Isn't this a shot from the opening, the second opening or something, third opening?
It has a lot of wild and memorable fucking moments. A lot of animes do, but Attack on Titan is different. And I didn't.
Wait, let's think. Okay, so it could either be something really early on, like when Eren gets eaten. I feel like it has to be that. Or it could be something way later, like when Eren does the time travel stuff. I think those are the only two options that could make this like random Attack on Titan watcher think that Attack on Titan was different. So let's see which one it is.
Realize how different it was until I saw this one scene. Now, before I even break this down, you have to understand the anime/manga landscape is very cliche in a sense that a lot of trope and character archetypes get passed around through the entire medium, with the power of friendship being the biggest trope of them all. You know that when you're watching a scene and the main protagonist's friends are all cheering him on or they're all relying on him to lock the fuck in for a singular moment, that character is going to win the battle. He's going to save the day. And when I saw this scene, I thought it to be no different. Hell, I didn't think Attack on Titan would be different. Attack on Titan seems to be your typical shonen anime/manga, really up until season 4. But even before that, in season 1, Attack on Titan seems to just be the same run-of-the-mill thing. Insert character has a special power, and that special power will eventually help the character save the day and their friends. And also, the friends will be there to help back up the protagonist along the way. And you have this really
I'm on the edge of my seat. What's it gonna be?
Where you see Levi gives Eren a choice: rely on yourself or rely on.
Oh my god, it's an actually interesting choice. I like this scene as well.
And Eren ultimately picks to rely on others. And Attack on Titan even gives us a gigantic fucking pump fake. We see Eren's choice, and at first we thought Eren picked wrong. We thought the Levi squad were a bunch of frauds, and it turns out they weren't. The whole entire time, it was a plan to lock up Annie and immobilize her to really figure out the identity of the female Titan. But this pump fake really proved to me how different Attack on Titan was. Eren ended up choosing wrong. The female Titan eventually kills the entirety of the Levi squad. The power of friendship in this context means absolutely fucking nothing. This broke the fundamental of the most common trope and archetype in anime there is: power of friendship. This is very new for any anime or manga to do just in general. But in doing so, it gave weight to another big anime trope, and that is angered, fueled transformations. Because of this loss, because of the shame of making the biggest mistake he's probably made in his entire life, Eren transforms into the Attack Titan in one of the most beautifully crafted, great scenes I've ever seen.
Then he loses.
And it wasn't caused by the power of friendship. It was caused by Eren's own insecurity to believe in himself that he could get this done. And this inadvertently is probably the reason why Eren chose to conduct the Plan of the Rumbling by himself. He didn't want to rely on anyone else because he knew what happened the last time he did. And this scene is truly when I realized Attack on Titan was different. You subscribe, you should subscribe.
There's no way he goes on for... He says that... Wait.
I think you should subscribe right now. And if you subscribe, I'll drop a video. You should really subscribe. I'll drop a video.
This is awesome.
I like it all. I don't want you to comment or like. I want you to subscribe. So subscribe. Please.
That was awesome. My goodness.
Attack on Titan.
All right. Well, that was kind of interesting. Small channel. Making a random Attack on Titan video about a scene they like. Doesn't that sound familiar? My goodness. All right. It's very generic. Yes, slay the power of friendship, kill Squad Levi. It's Squad Levi, I'm so sure I was right. This is Miller's nightmare video. What's wrong with the Levi scene? I like the Levi scene. It was great. Pete cover, true. When he shows up, we should play this without context just to mold him. Miller's not coming today. I can tell. Oh no. We got another video here in the Discord from Marimo. Media literacy is dead. Attack on Titan is still fascist. True. We're not watching this whole thing, okay? But you know what? Look at this. At least they defined fascism, you know? That's great. We love it. Was that One Piece I just saw in a... Oh, that's a One Piece character right there, right? Oh my god, wait for it. Right there. Oh, it's so difficult. You know, I'm a bit of a One Piece fan. I've watched 2 movies. I've watched the live action adaptation, so I recognize this character. He'll be here, true. Drag fascism, true. Alright, well, this is great. This reminds me of what happened with Lolita. Nobokov wrote Lolita after hearing about the kidnapping, and okay, great. Oh, look at this. We got some thorough engagement in the comments here. Look at all these long comments. Oh my goodness. Do my comments look this long? There's no way, right? In the blink of an eye. Alright, that's enough of that. See, look at my little pathetic comments, okay? Where are my long ones? I feel like this video has a bunch of long comments. It's a bit longer. I guess you got this nice chunk here of really long comments, you know, where people... Oh my god, it's Jarky Bacon. 105 upvotes and a heart from Elite Ari. Crazy. Anyway. Because One Piece is leftism. For... Oh my gosh. Anyway, so let me think about the Acolyte here for a second. So, what happened in episode 8? IMDb Acolyte. Wait, we've already done all the meme videos. Wait a minute. Something about the boys. Bishoku Tensei female cast. Factorio teaches you software engineer. I feel like we've seen this on stream. Why Rust Cole is still my hero 10 years later. That's interesting. All right, all the other ones are like serious ones. Okay, the Acolyte. So, let's think of a summary here. Okay, we had the first 2 episodes that were like meeting the characters, you know, finding out the revelation that they're twins, and like that's basically it. Then we have the backstory episode on the planet, and like you see the sisters when they're younger, and you see the witches that are you know, their family. Then they head to the planet, and it's like a really short episode. Then they fight on the planet, and it's like they're fighting. Oh my gosh. Then the 2 sisters are swapped places, and May is with Sol, and Osha is with the Sith person. Really boring episode. And then we have the latest episode, which was it was basically episode 3, but from a different perspective, but with a lot of like reused, I guess, scenes from episode 3. And it was incredibly... what can I say? It was, the whole conceit of Acolyte so far, at least like the big appeal of it, is this ongoing of mystery, or like why do these Jedi that were there on that day, why are they so guilt-ridden, and like why is May so passionate about killing them, and what happened on that one planet back in episode 3 that we didn't see? Why did all the people die? Why is Sol like so distraught, and like why did he almost turn to the dark side when he was facing the Sith, and gonna kill him because he was unarmed or whatever? What's going on? And oh my gosh, then we get to episode 6, and we're ending on a cliffhanger, and we're like, okay, so next episode is gonna be the one where we get the actual answer. And then the answer is like, there's some interesting elements to it, okay? There is the element that I think Sol's guilt is perfectly portrayed. The fact that he had a bias toward Osha, wasn't able to differentiate Osha and May, and ended up trying to save one of them, which ended up being Osha. That was really interesting. And feeling guilt over the fact that he let one of the kids die. I think that's probably that is the highlight of the episode. It's the most interesting thing that they did. And it almost saved the episode for me. I was like, wow, that was really cool. Everything else in this was incredibly boring, because it was all pretty much exactly what was... Firstly, it's not that... It wasn't worth the build-up. Didn't have much. It didn't feel like I had a great payoff where I'm like, whoa, that was crazy. I can understand why all these other characters feel guilty. It was pretty much exactly what I expected. Now I don't know if that's not, might not be the show's fault. It's just like so many people had theories, and I'd read a bunch of theories, and it was like probably the first one I ever read was like, oh my gosh, they got in Torben's mind, and he's gonna like get angry, and then the blah blah blah, and all this, there's gonna be a miscommunication, and everyone's gonna die, and they're gonna fight, and I don't know, it wasn't exactly that, but that was like roughly what happened, which was a bit boring. I feel like Torben was a big motivating factor for the conflict, and his rash nature of like wanting to charge in because he didn't feel like he wanted to belong to the planet. He didn't want to stay on this planet. Felt like it completely was. We didn't feel it at all. We just heard him say it a few times, and I never understood why he feels like he's trapped on this planet. Like I can understand, okay, he feels like he has a duty to the Jedi, so he has to stay here. But why is it so bad that he is here? Like why does he hate it so much? Why does he want to go home so much? Like these, I did not feel that at all. It just felt like a thing where it's like this character is stating that he needs to be off this planet, but I don't feel it, and I don't truly understand why. So to have him be the crux of what leads to this conflict by rushing in rashly felt very unsatisfying. What else is there? I guess that's really it. There was just nothing beyond that. The soul thing was really good, but everything else just felt so boring. So yeah, and it was like kind of like that's the episode you're waiting for this whole season because the mystery is building up and everything, and it's like it has the worst, like most boring payoff possible. So yeah, I just wonder what this review will say, I guess. So yeah,
I would say the central mystery.
I guess I should read if anyone had a comment. Here we go. Kyle's excited. Perfect. Yeah, let's talk about Acolyte. Oh, yay, let's talk about Acolyte. True. I'm so excited to discuss Acolyte. Perfect. Well, you can always join in the Discord if you want, Kyle. We can debate Acolyte.
Acolyte has been surrounding what the Jedi did on Bryndock. Why did it cause May to go on a killing spree? Why would
True.
Torben rather drink poison than confess his crimes? How did all those witches really die? Sol has gotten so close to telling the story on several occasions only to be interrupted, but now we finally know. Overall, I liked the episode. It didn't feel quite as monumental as I hoped it would, and I think that's because some of the biggest questions were once again teased to be answered later, mostly surrounding the creation of Osha and May. Actually, I would argue that we walked away from this episode with more questions about their origins, but the answers we did get were very satisfying to me. Several of them were what I expected, but that seems to be Leslie Headland's MO, like the reveal that the Stranger and Chimere were...
Let me think. I watched an interview with her. She did say that she doesn't care about... There were some mysteries that weren't important, and the more interesting mysteries were about, I think, character relationships or something. I feel like this mystery of why is everyone so guilt-ridden, I feel like this is a mystery that she probably wanted to retain, right? Like, maintain the secrecy of, because it's key to the whole show. Like, the mystery of who the Sith is not integral to the overall show, right? It doesn't really matter who he is. But I feel like this mystery is like the payoff to everything, right? I don't know.
Were the same person. Headland said about that revelation, I think a good twist is telegraphing what's going to happen, and then once it does, executing it without an ounce of pity or sentimentality. While things did play out more or less the way I thought they would, it was all far more tragic than I expected. So let's go through episode 7 choice, scene by scene. Right off the bat, I like that it pairs with episode 3's title, Destiny. All of these episodes have either had dual titles or been paired up like day and night. Episode 3 put forth the idea that May and Osha were created with a destiny in mind. But here in episode 7, Mother Anastasia is clear that she intends to give her daughters a choice. Meanwhile, Sol seems to be confusing destiny with choice while he fixes...
So, okay, I guess I didn't say it enough, but Sol's character was very interesting in this episode. He is the highlight of this episode. Everything else, though, I was not a fan of.
It's on Osha. I was glad to see that this episode was mostly from the Jedi perspective, because episode 3 made them look bad. Spying, breaking and entering, spouting out Republic laws outside of their jurisdiction. It was a lot. And while all those incidents are still true, we see right away that there's more to the story, and the Jedi aren't just a bunch of people searching the galaxy for children to kidnap. Indara and her team are on Bryndock because it has miraculously recovered from a hyperspace disaster that happened a century earlier. In fact, that disaster is central to the plot of the book Light of the Jedi, which introduced Star Wars fans to the High Republic era. In short, a ship broke apart while traveling at light speed, and pieces of it exited hyperspace, crashing into planets and devastating them. Bryndock was one of those worlds, and the Jedi want to see why it's recovered so quickly, which seems perfectly reasonable. Sol suspects a vergence in the Force must be responsible, which is basically an area of concentrated Force power. The dark side cave on Dagobah was a vergence, but so was Anakin Skywalker.
I understand. That's really interesting. I don't remember enough about the sequels to know that. I know Anakin, obviously, I think they say it. It's like, oh, this could be a version of the Force, or maybe they say it in the Clone Wars or something. That sounds familiar. The cave on Dagobah, is that ever said in canon? I just don't remember that. That's interesting.
Sol explains to Torben that any virgins should be studied and protected, telling the Padawan that they are on an important mission when all the young man wants to do is go home. The next day, Indara tells Sol a couple of things. First, she says they're not sure a virgins is the cause of life on Brindok. She also tells him not to confuse Torben's feelings for his own. I think Sol is also feeling a little lost and bored on their mission, and he might be placing more importance on it than it warrants. He wants to be on a noble mission, not a boring one, and so he makes it noble. They're not wandering aimlessly around in the wilderness, they're searching for a virgins. Last week, the stranger talked to Osha about his helmet, and when someone puts it on, it's just them, the Force, and whatever they bring with them. Sol is bringing that desire to be noble with him to Brindok. He's bringing the certainty of a virgins with him. Basically, if he is looking...
I wonder, is there anything to hint at this? I'm trying to think. Why would you think that? Like, this is a perfectly fine interpretation, right? But like, what's it based on? Why do you, I guess he said the one line about Sol, I mean, I don't know what her name was, Trinity, whatever her name is. She told Sol not to console the Padawan, right? Or like not to give in his, whoa, wait a minute. Wait, let's go back. Did you ever watch the Lines in Motion look back video, Ari? No, I didn't. It's only 10 minutes? Nope, didn't watch it.
Might be placing more importance on it than it warrants. He wants to be on a noble mission, not a cause of life on Brindok. She also tells him not to be and protected, telling the Padawan that they are on an important mission when all the young man wants to do is go home. The next day, Indara tells Sol a couple of things. First, she says they're not sure a virgins is the cause of life on Brindok. She also tells him not to confuse Torben's feelings for his own. I think Sol is also feeling a little...
Not to confuse Torben's feelings for his own.
Lost and bored on their mission, and he might be placing more importance on it than it warrants. He wants to be on a noble mission, not a boring one, and so he makes it noble. They're not wandering aimlessly around in...
Okay, wait a minute. We're gonna watch this one more time. Did he actually say that, or was this interpretation? Because I don't remember this.
His own. I think Sol is also feeling a little lost and bored on this...
Oh, I think. So it's just, okay. Because I didn't get any of this, but...
mission, and he might be placing more importance on it than it warrants. He wants to be on a noble mission, not a boring one, and so he makes it noble. They're not wandering aimlessly around in the...
Yeah, I guess it would just be why. Like, I don't... Like, what is the evidence for this, I guess? I never felt this, ever.
Wilderness, they're searching for a virgins. Last week, the stranger talked to Osha about his helmet, and when someone puts it on, it's just them, the Force, and whatever they bring with them. Sol is bringing that desire to be noble with him to Brindok. He's bringing the certainty of a virgins with him. Basically, if he is looking for a cause he deems to be noble, he will find one, and so he does. He stumbles across May and Osha, two innocent, Force-sensitive girls who are then taken away by a stern, scary-looking lady with horns all over her head. He sneaks inside to see where they might be held captive, only to see them being attacked by witches, and then there are even more of them outside doing some spooky ritual. It does paint a scary picture, but we all know how kind Mother Anastasia can be. We know that Mother Coral cares deeply for the girls, and we know that their view of the Force, the thread, isn't all that different from the Jedi's philosophy. I think these scenes did a good job of showing why Sol would be alarmed, but he's only seeing part of the story. He needs to look deeper, but instead I think he's blinded because in his mind, he has found a noble mission, a chance to save a couple of helpless children who are held captive in a fortress by witches. What could be more noble? And poor Indara again tries to de-escalate Sol, but Sol makes some compelling points. He knows the witches are preparing for a ceremony, and he fears that the girls might be in danger. Indara doesn't want to let any kids come to harm on her watch, so she agrees. The Jedi do break into the platform, but then she tries to go in alone, and Sol insists they go in as a team. I really liked Indara in this episode, and I'm so glad Carrie-Anne Moss got a big chance to shine. We were all disappointed to see her killed off so quickly in the series premiere. And
I wasn't disappointed at all. Okay, I was fine with it.
Episode 3, she was the one spouting off Republic laws on a non-Republic planet, but really, she was just trying to keep a distressing situation from spiraling out of control while Sol is over there waving his lightsaber around in front of kids. We get to see what Torben actually experienced during his possession by Mother Anastasia, and to take over his mind, she needed...
That was, okay, you know what? Now that I remember that scene, that was a pretty cool scene. Okay, we like that scene.
...to ask her for what he desired. Kinda like inviting her in, the same way you'd invite a vampire. It was intense and definitely didn't look pleasant for him. I think she may have been trying to scare the Jedi into going home, or maybe intensify Torben's desire so he might push them to leave. Instead, I think it just intensified his fear of the witches. Back on the ship, I like that Indara praises Sol for the clever move of asking to test the girls to buy them time to talk to the council, but then she finds out it wasn't a trick. He really wants to train this girl, and she's like, are you crazy? This is completely impractical. She's too old, she has a family, and a potentially dangerous one at that. Once again, Indara warns Sol not to confuse his desires for someone else's. In this case, he is right. Osha does want to be a Jedi, but he doesn't know that. He's just making up this scenario in his head where it's his destiny to train her. Again, forcing something grand to happen on this boring mission. He is using a made-up destiny.
I guess maybe I need to rewatch it, because I didn't get that at all. I didn't feel, because I felt it from Torben, and I didn't understand it from Torben at all. I didn't feel like it was a very well-established feeling that he had. And I didn't get this from Sol at all, that he wanted to find a grander purpose on this planet. Now, maybe they say it explicitly, and somehow I just missed it completely. I didn't get that reading at all.
Destiny to justify his choices. But he gets some inadvertent help from May of all people when she comes to her Jedi test. She talks about the Ascension and what it means, but she doesn't really understand it, and then she says everyone must walk through fear. Neat, that sounds like a Jedi thing to say, you could have stopped there. But she goes on to say everyone must be sacrificed to fulfill their destiny. I admit that sounds bad, but May is misquoting her mother. In episode 3, Anastasia said that the Ascension is about sacrificing a part of oneself, like in a metaphorical sense, but I can totally understand why the Jedi might be worried about those words. We see a little more of Osha's test, and Dendara does not look happy about how Sol is handling that conversation. I love that from Osha's perspective in episode 3, that was such a warm and comforting moment, but now we're seeing the exact same words in a different context that make them far more troubling, as we see that Sol isn't only motivated by her well-being, he wants her to be his Padawan for selfish reasons. The plot thickens when Torben reads the girls' blood samples. He sees that their metachlorian count is very high, which isn't surprising, but more importantly notes that their symbionts are an exact match. This is something that's been mentioned before in Star Wars, but I don't think it's been defined exactly. I think it's like a Force fingerprint, something that should be different even in identical twins, like Torben states. So now they know the girls were created through some supernatural means. And Dara speculates that they could have originally been a single consciousness that was split into two bodies. That's what I'd been guessing ever since we heard that part of their rhyme, always one, but born as two. My current guess is that maybe Mother Anastasia somehow recreated herself and split different aspects of her personality between May and Dosha, but I have no clue. I think and hope this will be something that gets answered for real in the season finale. Sol thinks some sort of virgins would have been able to create the twins, and Torben decides they're basically his ticket home, which seems like an extreme reaction. I'm chalking it up to intense fear of the witches and a desperate need to get the hell off of Bryndock, but him rushing off to escalate things was a little much. Speaking of escalation, we see how terribly aligned Mothers Coral and Anastasia are with their parenting styles. Anastasia chooses motherhood over leadership in a great but short scene. She presumably created the twins with a destiny in mind, but instead of forcing that destiny onto Osha, she allows the girl to have a choice. Meanwhile, Coral riles May up, tells her to get mad, and do everything she can to stop Osha from leaving, and then starts to arm up the witches for a fight.
Alright, I'm bored. Okay, we're done. This didn't change anything. Oh, what is Star Wars? Oh, I thought this was an official channel for a second. I was like, Jesus. Well. Acolyte's still bad. That's the conclusion, okay? I think he's already seen that one. Mario, why does most anime... This looks familiar.
Hey, you.
Who's speaking to me? I feel like this looks very familiar. Wait.
You ever heard about the blue sky problem?
No,
Basically, sometime like a year ago...
Oh, the My Hero Academia thing, right?
Critiquing the anime adaptation of My Hero...
Yeah, I have seen this. And then he did he call out like manga people and then I named them and then he tricked me or something? Something like that. I don't know. Maybe that was another channel. I remember this video. Alright, what's the other one? The lines in motion. Why does Fujimoto... Wait a minute. Fujimoto is his last name, right? I've actually never considered this before. What if it is just Fujimoto Tatsuki? I guess, yeah, Tatsuki Fujimoto. Interesting. Why does Fujimoto Tatsuki draw? Is this going to be about interviews or something, I wonder? I wonder if he's doing interviews for in preparation for the release of this movie. If you'd like to support the channel, I have a Patreon. Link in the description. Let's have a look. Oops, why didn't that open? Lines in Motion Danny. Hey, I'm Danny. I make videos about all things creative. What do we got? $2 sketch in motion. So we got Discord access. Access videos should any of them go offline. Patreon only updates. Announcements. Access to all my live streams will be taken down from the main channel after 3 days. Oh my gosh. I should do that. What a genius idea. Work in progress. Discord. What's the $20 one? Support my work with a little extra magic on top. If you choose to sign up for this tier, I am eternally grateful. All right, so we got eternal gratefulness. Isn't that fantastic? Oh my god, the song is bouncing around in my head.
Art has been a crucial part of my life since the moment I picked up a pencil. I grew up drawing every day, sketching celebrities,
Is that the 10th Doctor?
every day.
Is that David Tennant, the 10th Doctor? Or is that someone else? That's pretty funny if it is.
Sketching celebrities, comic panels, or random doodles. I would constantly be known as the artist in my classes, from school to college and university. And all that led me here, dedicating videos solely based on art and the wonders it brings us. And if I take a look back, none of this would have happened if not for my nan. The person who enjoyed my art the most and continuously encouraged younger me to keep drawing. It's for this exact reason Look Back by Tatsuki Fujimoto resonated with me on such a personal level that I was left sobbing turning to the last page. Look Back and In Consideration Goodbye Eri feel far more personal than Fire Punch, Chainsaw Man, and his earlier one-shot projects. And that's not to disregard those stories. There's a reason Fujimoto has built himself a solid audience, from his infatuation with cinema, to cleverly applied paneling, to balls-to-the-wall writing that you can't stop reading. His ability to draw people in is one of my favourite attributes of his work. But in Look Back, Fujimoto's emotions feel far more transparent, projected not through words, but panels that evoke messages and feelings so absorbed in the realities of being an artist. Because Look Back dares to ask the question, why do you draw?
God, do I remember enough about Look Back to even remember that? Why do you draw? I guess that's kind of like the thing, right? I don't know. I don't remember the details enough about Look Back, which is good because, you know, I'm going to watch this movie blind.
First and foremost, Look Back is a story by and for artists. It's an autobiography wherein Fujimoto places his experience of artistry through the lens of Fujino and Komoto, as both of their names are based on his own and represent the differing sides of his outlook on art. It's what makes the story so relatable to many creatives, because there are countless scenes that are memories and events many artists would have experienced themselves. For instance, the hunched over the desk position Fujino is repetitively slouched in is one I feel all too well, being so absorbed in drawing that you don't even notice the day go by, your room becoming darker as it turns to evening, and your back never forgiving you for its extended period of straining. Or the growing amount of art books Fujino collects from bookstores, as well as googling certain techniques in the hopes of improving her work. However, beyond those smaller actions artists do themselves, Fujimoto nailed the other attributes raised when growing up as an artist, being others' perception of you. When you're good at art young, you'll often hear common phrases in which people
Wait, how long is this section? Oh no. Alright.
only deem art worthy when profitable or comparing themselves to you. You'd be a great artist. You could do this for a job. You're better than I could ever be. It's phrases like this that always look to monetize a craft, planting seeds into little artists' minds that doing art is the best thing ever, and seeing adults be so impressed with your work only pushes the urge to make more. That is, until you grow up and actually want to pursue art as a career. It's a frustrating oxymoron and turn of events when the very people who
Wait, why'd you link this to me? I'm not an art. Why? I don't even understand. What am I going to get from this? I guess we'll keep watching. I thought Look Back was Goodbye Eri. No, we love Goodbye Eri, okay. We also love Look Back, okay. That's why I was interested in this video. Oh, okay, so okay. Look Back's lame. True.
pushed you to draw more.
Look Back is a failure of a sci-fi story because the sci-fi elements don't make sense, so we hate Look Back.
Then consider you to be too old for drawing as you age. You spent a childhood complimented for your work to suddenly being judged by others for wanting to actually commit to the goals they suggested to you when young. It's easy then to see why so many artists suffer with imposter syndrome, especially when you're like Fujino, a girl who had been applauded all her life, suddenly being bettered by someone her own age. Going from being the best at something...
Is that really, Wait, let me hear that again.
It's easy then to see why to be too old for drawing as you age. You spent a childhood...
I wonder how common this actually is. Aren't you getting too old to pursue drawing? Is this really a thing that, like, maybe I could imagine maybe in the 20th century or something, but is this really an issue? I feel like more it would come from a place of feeling as though you can't make an income being an artist, right? And the people who are telling you this, the older, wiser people who have jobs, they'd be like, you're not going to make it because, like, you should probably pursue actual, like, jobs or whatever. And they think of art as not like a manner of getting a job. Not because you're older. They wouldn't say that, like, oh, you're old, therefore, like, you shouldn't be making art. They'd say, you're old, you need to get a job that makes money. And art is not going to do that. Nothing to do with, like, art being associated with, like, childishness, right? I don't know.
Complimented for your work to suddenly being judged by others for wanting to actually commit...
Like, it's not a judgment, right? It's a practical thing of, like, it's very unlikely that you would make money or as consistent money in a salary, like, paying job compared to being an artist, right? Generally. But maybe this video will be... maybe that's the point of this video, to say that, actually, there's a lot of ways to make money as an artist, you know?
The goals they suggested to you when young. It's easy then to see why so many artists...
Okay, whatever.
Suffer with imposter syndrome, especially when you're like Fujino, a girl who had been applauded all her life, suddenly being bettered by someone her own age. Going from being the best at something and having that confidence be shattered when witnessing another be just as good, or if not superior to you.
You know what the best way to deal with this is to realize that you are never the best, okay? There's always someone better than you, no matter who you are. I feel like a lot of these lines in motion videos are a little boring. Well, you need to relate to it, you know? If you're a drawing, I guess, maybe you'd relate to this more, you know? Oh, Jesus. I haven't seen this video, Ari, don't get mad at me. I'm not, okay. This video is kind of weird. Why does the lead Ari make videos? What a question. I do it for fun, you know? Let's just watch the poem one again. Because I make him make videos. He'd be nothing without me.
Your work is a hard pill to swallow. because the introduction of Kimoto's character reflects Fujimoto's love for drawing, a foil to Fujino, who is the manifestation of Fujimoto's frustration of art and the reality surrounding it. It's funny because Fujino's art style is very stylized versus Kimoto.
God, this is so good. For the early look back stuff is so good. The fact that you have like people who are praising this kind of art, which is more like realistic or whatever, when this is cuter, has a story, like a more explicit story. Obviously, you can derive a story from this if you want. And it's just like, it's so good. And it, like the fact that whoever this is, whoever the artist, the inferior one that everyone praises less, Fujino or whatever, whoever she was, the fact that people are looking down on her for making stuff like this, it's so like, it's so visceral because it's like, don't feel bad, Fujino, whichever one it is. I appreciate your art as a viewer, but like no one around you does. Anyway.
Kimoto's more realistic take on art. And even that is something I've discussed on the channel because I've experienced
Sure. Stylized versus
myself.
realistic.
The way Fujino and her classmates deem Kimoto's art more impressive is simply down to the consensus that realism
God, this video got good. This is so true. This is the appeal of the early look back stuff. Oh my
is
God.
harder and better, which is why it comes as a shock to Fujino when her work is considered average in comparison, on top of having a rival outbeat her work for the very first time. It's bittersweet then when Fujino and Kimoto finally meet. Rather than an ugly rivalry, it's revealed that Kimoto is actually Fujino's biggest fan. She expresses a love for Fujino's art that completely takes her back. And that's the
I keep forgetting that Kyomoto is a girl. For some reason, I even did this. I remember when I was talking about Digest. In my mind, it's just a boy for some reason. I don't know why. I guess they just, in the setup to when we were seeing them, when we saw them from behind or whatever, I was like, it's a boy. And the whole time, I'm like, oh, it's a boy. Okay. But I don't know why I keep forgetting.
takes her back. And that's the first stepping stone towards their budding relationship. Because being reminded of the joy in seeing others appreciate her work, like when she was younger, is enough to draw her back into the world of art. Art is something to be celebrated and often feel liberated by.
No, art is to change young minds, okay? That's what art exists for. Well, it's more about the cultural perception of people into anime and manga back a couple of decades ago. I can understand that being more of a childish thing because there is like a stigma towards cartoons or whatever. They're like for children or whatever. That's not what this person was saying, right? That's not what Lines Emotion is saying. They were saying because they are an artist, they can relate to the feelings of being an artist, being looked down upon, right? Sexist. True, I am sexist.
And that feeling only grows tenfold when Fujino and Kimoto's shared story wins as a runner-up for a manga competition. There's something so special about the bond and connection art can build, and seeing the joy Fujino and Kimoto experience when working together is the strength in collaboration. Viewing others' work as a healthy competitor who drives improvement and self-reflection will always outweigh the toxic mindset that is often pushed in society. It's just another step into the act of fulfillment, the want to draw for those who enjoy your work. Because even in Fujino's dream, where she envisions a world where Kimoto is still alive and breathing, she reimagines Kimoto as the big fan she's always been. Despite being a dream, even in an illusion, Fujino thinks about the impact her art can have on people. And that's why Look Back hits home, because it shows how much an artist can be affected by the simplest of acknowledgements. An honest depiction that conveys the surprise and warmth an artist feels when seeing people react so expressively to their art, allowing you to fully savour the fruits of your labour. To see your work influence others is one of art's truest rewards, and this feels even more fitting to note when considering the work Fujimoto's assistants have gone on to draw. The mark your art makes in the world isn't
I recognize Spy Family. Did a Fujimoto assistant make Spy Family? That's crazy. And Hell's Paradise? Crazy. That's what the manga says, though. Manga... Well, it's more about cultural perception of people in the anime... into anime and manga back a couple of decades ago. That's what the manga says, though. God, I don't remember enough about Look Back. What was the point of it? You have... What did I extract from it? I don't remember. Maybe that is the point. I'll take your word for it, Heath.
to draw. The mark your art makes in the world isn't strictly focused on your work and pieces, but also the others you've pushed into drawing too. Suddenly, a bubble of your own art extends to the work of others you've touched and influenced. As mentioned earlier, a simple question is asked in the latter half of the one-shot that stumped me. Why do you draw? For me, it's not what motivated me, but who. My nan is such a massive influence towards my art journey, buying me art tools from Poundland, doing crafts together whilst watching Art Attack, and always being the first to react to my sketches. The urge to create more art wasn't only for myself. In fact, I'd argue the opposite. I made art purely for others, and that's something Look Back reiterates so well. When Fujino returns to Kimoto's room after her passing, it's almost melancholic to see the fan she continued to be of Fujino even after their separation. From the start to the end, Kimoto adored Fujino's work, And to see her volumes of Shark Kick, Fujino's serialized manga, collected several times on her shelves, and a Shonen Jump survey left blank, ready to be filled, of which we all know the positivity she'd write, is so heartbreakingly sweet. If Fujino's art was an open letter, Kumato replied with devotional love. Because as an artist, there's this desire to make people laugh, to cry, be informed, to get angry, feel inspired, and a whole whirlwind of emotions from your art. Sometimes the original intent of an art piece can be perceived in whole.
Sorry, I just had like the dumbest idea, but I was thinking how they were animating this tier to go down, right?
To get angry, feel inspired.
And clearly it's just like a position, like keyframe, which you're like positioning. It would be really interesting to apply like a mask to this, or like an adjustment layer or whatever in After Effects to add some type of warping. So it's like when it's going down, it's going to actually warp what's behind it, which would kind of make it look pretty realistic, I think. That could be interesting. Anyway.
And a whole whirlwind of emotions from your art. Sometimes the original intent of an art piece can be perceived in whole new ways even the artist might not have considered.
Memes. Oh my god, that's a meme. I know this meme. Crazy. All right. Artists are hippies. Get a real job. Shaking my head. True. All art is going to get replaced by AI anyway, okay? So they're all going to not have jobs. It's not really a big point of the manga, but that is the reason why the kids start turning on Fujinori for still drawing manga in the school paper. Oh, sure, I could remember that. Yeah, sure. So the cultural perception of people. Okay, yep. Thank you, Heath.
That's the magic in art. It speaks to
oh my god, Heath, you tweeted out an article, by the way, and I read the article. Crazy.
everyone individually, and whether a simpler art style like Fujino's or fully rendered pieces like Kumato's, each reader will take away a piece of the artist's heart. Fujimoto's motivation to draw is us, the readers. How we pick apart each Chainsaw Man chapter, how we react to heartfelt scenes, or even how we vote on the popularity polls. It all comes down to enjoyment. For all the hard work artists put into art, the blood, the sweat, and the tears of it all, it truly can be just one voice that makes the difference in how you perceive art, and how that validation intensifies the passion in creating. Fujino's answer to "why do you draw" wasn't answered with a speech bubble of "because Kumato was there." Because we don't need to read that. That's too easy an answer. Instead, Fujimoto makes us feel the answer through a montage that demonstrates the ways in which Fujino connected to art, through remembering Kumato's laughter, her shock, and her despair when reading her manga. Ironically, sometimes the craft of designing in itself isn't why artists draw. In fact, Fujino herself describes the difficulties art brings and the hardship she feels because of it. And yet, seeing Kumato's reactions to her art and the ways it touches others is enough reason and purpose to continue drawing. That euphoric feeling in knowing you've affected someone through a drawing makes you look back on the challenges faced when approaching art and the memories collected that define who you are today, that makes you appreciate every moment you decided to draw. Hey guys.
Is that true? I don't know.
Thanks for watching to the end of the video. As always, I want to give a thank you to my patrons for supporting me over on Patreon and really helping out this channel. And I also quickly want to say that my next video is going to be a Q&A video. It's a little late coming. It's technically for reaching 100,000, which I reached that a few weeks ago now. But I'm going to do the Q&A now. So I'm going to put up a community post, I don't know, maybe in a few days. So you guys can ask any questions that you want. I'll also ask on Twitter as well, if you use Twitter.
I don't know. Is that a Q&A video? It doesn't look like it.
More. So feel free to ask me any questions. I can't promise I'll answer every single one, but I'll try and answer as many as I can.
Or is that like a Patreon thing? I don't know. Anyway. It's not really a big point. Lamau, I just thought it was interesting that even Australian news was covering the anime industry. Yeah, that was pretty funny. It was funny. They made a few mistakes throughout the article. Well, actually, let me see if I can... It was like very minor, like funny things. Like calling it animes instead of anime or whatever. They said Evangelion Neon Genesis or something, and I was like, is that like the official name or something? What is Heath's like? It's like, yeah. Oh, I've already looked at it before. What else was there? Oh, they said an artist draws a storyboard of an anime comics book, manga style. I was like, what? What does it even mean? Unless I'm just like, not understand. An artist draws a storyboard of an anime comics book, manga style. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. There were like a few funny things like that throughout this, but it was kind of... This is like the most mainstream of mainstream articles. There's like a bunch of quotes and they're just like talking about general conditions in the industry. And some poll that they did. Alright, well that was a well-made video, I guess, generally. I don't have anything to say. Why did I just open the channel again? I don't know. Okay. What is this? The The power of overconfidence. One Piece creator analysis. I have not seen One Piece. Okay, this video can. Whoa, that text. When I start reading, this text like floats toward me. It like becomes 3D. Crazy. This video contains random out of context scenes from One Piece that I would consider mild spoilers at the best for those who haven't watched the anime. I'm not gonna watch a One Piece video. Let's watch the intro.
In all my years, I've never seen a guy like you who works so hard but has nothing to show for it. Eiichiro Oda has a pretty unique mangaka journey. It's a story about a stubborn, overconfident rookie learning to accept just how small his world truly was, while developing the skills needed to become a full-fledged mangaka. I see a lot of aspects of his struggle reflected in his characters. Ambitious and tenacious, unwavering loyalty and persistence. Kind of dumb and silly. We'll take a look at the events that led up to One Piece and try to analyze parts of Oda's character.
Alright, we don't want a history of Oda, okay? Maybe one day when I actually become a One Piece fan. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? Okay. Callie can't stop laughing at an Australian town name. Oh my god, that's like near Sydney, right? Maybe I've been there. Oh my god.
Beverly Hills. They have a Beverly Hills too? Where is downtown Sydney? I know nothing about Sydney. Hold on.
Oh my god, it's right there. Oh my god, crazy.
I'm here. This looks really poppin'.
Well,
okay.
no,
now
not
I've lost
really.
it. Oh, there it is. Oh, it is here. Come on, come on, come on. All right, it's fine. We're just gonna have to guess around here. Could be worse. I'm still number one. Oh, they all seem to guess. So they all were kind of on the same page guessing Australia. You sure you're not lost? No, I found. Okay, not quite. So I guess there are multiple George Streets. Let me confirm. I should have paid more attention to King Street. Dang it. Oh well. Barangaroo. Hey, babe, you wanna go get some barangaroos?
Wait, that's okay. Jesus. I didn't even consider that would be the name. Barangaroo, true. Crazy. Okay. Let me refresh. Now we saw a positive Acolyte video. We could watch a negative one. Or we could see another positive one. We could watch a boys related thing. Why the boys is scary? Is it because it's so realistic, bro? We could watch a Mushoku Tensei one, actually. I am interested in this. It's going to be like a nothing video. I can already feel it. I don't know why Bacon linked it, but maybe it'll be good. Mushoku Tensei has by far the best female cast in anime. Even better than Madoka Magica? Oh my gosh. Let me see. What are the actual... Oh my god, why does that happen every time? Which anime has the best female cast? Let's have a look. Are there any female Hunter x Hunter characters? Does Mob have any female characters? Jesus, Madoka. Oh, Java update. Madoka has a bunch of female characters. Attack on Titan would be. That's a pretty strong contender, I'd say. There's like a bunch of female characters in there. My Hero has a bunch of, despite how sexist the story is, you know, has a bunch of great female characters. I guess Mushoku Tensei is okay too.
Has the best female characters in anime. Now that's a statement that sounds like an oxymoron, and if you forgot in 3rd grade English, that is a combination of contradictory words put together. In this vast world of anime with casts like One Piece with Nico, Robin, Nami, and Vivi, to casts like Bleach with Rukia, Yorochi, and Orimi, to Naruto with Sakura. In anime, it seems like this.
Isn't there a character called Hinata in I'm pretty sure that's a Naruto thing. Hinata Naruto. Because I got spoiled that something happens between this person and another character from a Kyle Entertainment video.
To an MC that wipes up someone after a one-night stand twice, making a statement like Mushoku Tensei having the best female character in anime sounds, well, it sounds like a load of fucking bullshit. And as I started thinking about it and the code started downloading in my peanut brain, I came to one conclusion, that Mushoku Tensei undoubtedly uses, understands, and elevates female characters better than any other anime. I think when breaking it down, you need to understand every character represents a different...
I wonder if he has a Mal. Wish I could see what other anime he likes. Nope, I guess not.
Different aspect of character building, and each of them have their own respective greatness, from Roxy being the strongest supporting character to Sarah being the most relatable to Lilia showing...
Wait, Roxy's the strongest supporting character, not Sylphie? Wait a minute.
Represents a different aspect of character building, and each of them have their own respective greatness.
I guess Sylphie hasn't supported yet. I guess
Roxy being the strongest supporting character, to Sarah being the most relatable, to Lilia showing off the understanding of world building, to then mixing in Norn and Aisha to bring in the best dynamic in the series, to the fact that Eretz could literally be the main character, and then finally Sophie, who I think counters every single argument I'm going to make in this video.
I completely didn't hear a single thing he said because I was trying to place where that music was from, and it's from Avatar. Wait, let me listen to that again.
Relatable, to Lilia showing off the understanding of world building, to then mixing in Norn and Aisha to bring in the best dynamic in the series, to the fact that Eretz could literally be the main character, and then finally Sophie, who I think counters every single argument I'm going to make in this video, and is the sole hole in my logic. But
Wait.
Maybe not, but maybe.
That's crazy. Of all the, I mean, mild spoiler, I guess, for my tier list. I think Sylphie is probably one of the best female characters, I think. I guess we'll see where her story goes. I'm not going to spoil anime stuff in the future, but I like Sylphie a lot.
She is. But maybe we should start with Roxy, who recently in the anime got Rudis to cheat on Sophie like a you-know-what protagonist, but she didn't know, right? Right? Roxy, in essence, has become a bigger poster child of Mushoku Tensei than Rudis, but her being the strongest supporting character may cause some jarring reactions like, what about Ruijerd, or Eris, or even Paul? And that's fair, you can make an argument for all those characters, but I think there's aspects to Roxy's story that rivals the morals of Ruijerd and the development of Eris. It's the fact that she's actually weak compared to Rudis, but also is the most essential part of getting Rudis out of his...
Not exactly weak. I guess she's weaker in some regards, but if she's a king tier magician, what king spells does Rudy know right now? None.
Chill. What do I actually mean by that? If it wasn't for Roxy, Rudis' bum-ass, sorry-ass would still be sitting, moping around talking about how the outside world is scary. Little bro is hiding behind the wall. Roxy may be the definition of the meme when you introduce your friend to a game and he becomes better than you at it, but still, remember, a character's worth isn't just measured by their strength. Jesus Christ, that...
God, can you believe... okay, maybe they'll do this next season. No, they can't because they did a time skip. And I guess the light novel also skipped this, but... God, I wish we got a scene of Rudy introducing Roxy to, like, all the people. Like, what does Zainoba say when he first meets Roxy? What does, like, Cliff say? What are all these reactions to meeting the great Master Roxy that Rudy always talks about, you know? Damn.
Sounds like something Dr. K would say. Your worth isn't measured by your net worth. And if Dr. K were here, he would tell you to leave a
We
like
hate
this video,
Dr.
comment,
K
and share
here.
it with literally everyone you know. And follow me on Twitter. But anyways, if you take Roxy out of the story, our MC literally would not be able to function in this world. And it's not like she was just used as a plot device to get Rudis over his past, but she also grows on her own. She leaves them knowing she wants to get stronger and even helping round up his family and allying herself with people that there's no way the Roxy at the start of the series would. And there's not many anime out there that respect their female characters enough to give them such an important role when it comes to the main character. Specifically, most of the time when female characters have highlights, it's their own individual story, or they're just someone for the MC to come and save. And even though Rudis does save her, I guess she saves Rudis too. I didn't mean it like that. I meant the other way. Alright, so let's jump to the most underrated character in the series, and the one that got disrespected the most, in Sarah. Now, Sarah is a character that most people forgot about. She was only in like 5 episodes, but it was nice because she was the only female character that wasn't obsessed with Rudis from the get-go. Oh shit. Wait, hold on. What was that? She caused him to have ED? A side character? Okay, so what exactly makes her so relatable? I think it's the fact that out of every character in this world, she is the only one that has human reactions, and is most akin to what would happen if a normal person was just dropped into this universe. Her strength level is mediocre, not bad, but nothing to write home about. She's angry that they're bringing around some brooding dingo everywhere they go, but then she eventually gets trapped with him on a mission to then becoming infatuated with him because he saves her, to then making moves looking like she actually liked him, only for him to act like an idiot, and she actually doesn't run back to him. And I think there's something special when anime and writers in general give a character who is by all means not special at all limelight, to see how normal people in this world react, and it serves as a reminder that the main character and main...
Wait a minute. Okay, wait 1 second. What is this? Anyway, crazy. Wait, let's go back a bit.
main person was just dropped into this universe. Her strength level is mediocre, not bad, but nothing to write home
Mediocre? Oh my god, Sarah's like she's a prodigy, right? With the bow and arrow. Crazy.
about. She's angry that they're bringing around some brooding dingo everywhere they go, but then she eventually gets trapped with him on a mission to then becoming infatuated with him because he saves her, to then making moves looking like she actually liked him, only for him to act like an idiot, and she actually doesn't run back to him. And I think there's something special when anime and writers in general give a character who is by all means not special at all limelight, to see how normal people in this world react, and it serves as a reminder that the main character and main cast aren't just gonna get what they want. And at any turn, you could argue that to this point in the anime, no character has come close to humbling Rudis as bad as she did. I think it's safe to say most fans would want to see her get checked in on later in the anime because of the fact that she made the most of her time on screen. I don't think any anime gives female characters like this the limelight to just be normal. And much like Roxy, you can see the impact Rudis leaves on her and vice versa, which makes you sit back and go like, damn, in a world of monsters, magic, and kings, you still can't lose the tension that comes from personal relationships. So that was wholesome, but now I'm going to defend the most loyal homewrecker in all anime in Lilia.
Okay. I don't know about this video. I mean, it's an interesting... it's a... Oh boy. It's a nice summary of your perspective of particular characters in the story. I think it's a bit crazy to say that it's like by far the best female cast and then not to compare it to any other cast, I guess. To just say that like obviously it's better because it's better. I don't know, there's a nice summary of each character though. Let's see.
Look, I know. How could Lilia be one of the leaders in Mushoku Tensei having the best female characters in anime? She got Paul to cheat. Yes, this is true. We can't change that, but let's be real here. Lilia actually does represent the best understanding of the world in any character in the series, and even her trait of loyalty can only be rivaled by...
I actually don't remember what I put Lily as in my tier list. I could imagine really liking her or really hating her. I don't know. I can feel the cringe already. Did you watch the In Defense of the Controversial episode of Mushoku Tensei video by Hot Boy Spicy? I think I did last time. Yeah, last stream. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, it was okay. Like, it was a good video. Better than this one, that's for sure. Sarah, relatable. True, because she's just a normal person. That's why. Norn is the best. Norn is the best. The greatest character in Mushoku Tensei.
Paul. Yes, I said Paul. Which is a whole nother video, which let me know down below if you want to see the argument for that. So what do I mean in terms of Lilia in the world? Well, there's a lot of anime and isekai in general where you're like, would a character like this actually exist in this type of setting? Like, would a Romy actually act like that in the world of Bleach? Probably not. But Lilia, on the other hand, is a character with flaws that is anything but pure, and this doesn't make her bad in any way because there's a lot of characters in the world that are far from pure, like Paul, Rudis, Elenise. The list goes on. When you look at media that take place in this setting from Game of Thrones, Free Reign, and Witcher 3, it shows what people were like back then when it comes to sleeping around in a maid culture. But she represents a female character of a fantasy world in the most literal sense possible, and anime doesn't go out of its way to disrespect her as a character or anything like that, and instead highlights her loyalty. And I mean, she literally stuck to Paul to the very end, was even loyal to Rudis to the point of leaving him with her daughter. I think the pinnacle scene of this
It's crazy. I don't know if loyalty is like Lilia's thing. It's like she slept with, well, she made Paul cheat, or she seduced Paul because she loved Paul, obviously, like since they were growing up. And she's indebted to Rudius because she thinks that Rudius saved her life. I don't know.
This happened in the anime recently when she told Rudis to leave Zenith to her because there's this narrative in anime that the main character is literally the only person who can do anything. Like, you know when you're playing a game and even AI support character that does jack shit while you're trying to take on a literal army by yourself? That's most anime side characters and definitely most female characters in anime, but her character is far from that, and you can tell that her words have weight on Paul, Zenith, and Rudis, and she's treated as an actual member of the family despite the fact that she is just their maid. And most
my god, that was so cute. Did you see Aisha on her back in like a little backpack? That's adorable.
Member of the family, despite the fact that she is just their maid, and most anime and media wouldn't give Lilia half the moment she does have in the series, and she has way more depth than any character in Black Clover by a landslide. I'm sorry, I like Black Clover. I was just trying to be mean. But who is next? Who is the next female legend of the series?
Let's think. Who would be next after Lilia? Probably Zenith, right?
And it's actually a duo of Norn and Aisha. The inclusion of them in the list may shock you, but the two characters create such a unique juxtaposition, and to be honest, without them, the second half of season 2 would be a lot less interesting. Their dynamic is a little basic and very, very anime-esque. One quiet, one loud, one talented, and one really not. One likes Rudis and
it's just, I mean, maybe when was this made? No, this was made toward the end. I was gonna say Norn is not quiet. I would definitely not describe Norn as quiet, but I guess for half the season she was. A
lot less interesting. Their dynamic is a little basic and very, very anime.
Like Norn is absolutely not the opposite of Aisha. That's not a dichotomy I would agree with. No one feels like she's in the shadow of Aisha, but not her opposite.
Quiet, one loud, one talented, and one really not. One like
I can see that regard, talented and not talented, but
Rudis and one wants to see him unalived in the worst way imaginable. But the thing is, the depth of these characters and the strength in the writing behind them is actually better than any character in Black Clover. And I mean that for real this time. Both Norn and Aisha have backstories and mini arcs about them, and their morals are thought through and developed. And Norn is one of the most interesting characters in the series because she was used as the ultimate learning lesson to Rudis, and he sees himself in the mirror when he sees her. When Norn hates Rudis with all of her being for how he was to her father, for his reputation around the school, the author is using her as the ultimate highlighter for all of Rudis' issues, because to this point in the series where everything seems to be going right for Rudis, it's like he can do no wrong, every character is blazing him like crazy. She's just like, nah, fuck all that. To be honest, their relationship carries
no way. That can't be the takeaway you took from this episode. I thought that the takeaway of this episode is that she realizes that Rudis isn't the bad person that she thought he was, right? I don't know. That's crazy.
At this point in the series where everything seems to be going right for Rudis, it's like he can do no wrong, every character is glazing him like crazy. She's just like, nah, fuck all that. To be honest, their relationship carries the first half of season 2 part 2, and Aisha isn't used as much in the newest season, but there's still interest in her character because she seems strong and her sense of loyalty is kind of creepy. I'm assuming there's going to be another huge jump in time at some point in the series, and I feel like her character and Eris are going to end up being very similar by the end of the story. And speaking of her, let's go to most people's favorite side character who can probably be the main character in Eris.
Sick AMV. Oh my god.
So I don't know if I need to sell you on Eris being able to hold her own as the main character series. I feel like you need a crash course on common sense if you doubt that. But in case you do, her character journey is literally unlike anything we've ever seen, and even more so than Rudis, she has a lot of things that could be her purpose. You see, Rudis, he's just a dude trying to live life. You know what I'm talking about? The pursuit of happiness type of shit. Like, he's just going around trying to bag girls, do the magic thing on the side, chill, be happy. Eris, on the other hand, is literally trying to become the strongest swordswoman of all time while retaking her kingdom that was obliterated. She's lost her family, and her remaining family betrayed her. And
she want to retake her kingdom? I don't remember that at all.
Let's just say she's got a lot of shit going on. Even from the point we've seen her from her introduction, you could argue that she's grown more than Rudis as a character. We haven't really seen anything on her lately, and I'm sure she's gonna make a Marvel character cameo at the end of season 2 and be Rudis' third wife. I am an anime only. Please do not confirm nor deny my suspicions. That now seems really obvious after the last episode, but I think the reaction she's gotten from the fandom represents the larger issue in media quite well. You see, there's this narrative that people hate when shows mix in different genders, orientations, and race into the story. This is why people dislike these shows, because they claim they're trying to be woke. And don't get me wrong, there's people that hate these shows for these reasons, but the thing is, the vast majority of people that hate on these shows isn't because of any of those factors, but it's because they're just written like shit. The forefront of this argument right now is Star Wars Acolyte, and people are saying the show
oh my god, it's an Acolyte video. This is crazy.
It's only getting review bombed for DEI reasons, and that's not the case at all, because the show just fucking sucks. And I think proof of that is the best show on TV right now is
I think it got review bombed probably because of the response that people perceived Lucasfilm as having toward the audience. That's probably why it was review bombed initially. Which as part of that would be like the perception of wokeness or whatever, but I don't know.
House dragging. This is the most inclusion any Game of Thrones series has had ever. And I literally have never seen anyone remotely complain about the show because it just slaps, and low-key has the potential to be better than Game of Thrones, but you did not hear that from me. Point being, in how it relates to Eris, I think it goes to show that nobody who's sensible is going to hate on a character regardless of how they're drawn or what race they are or what gender they are. It's really if they're well written, and that's what matters. And it's safe to say she's probably the best written character in the series, having many flaws that she works on. She fails many times. She goes through deep trauma. She doesn't just bend to the main character's will. So with all that being said, let's go on to the whole and all this logic and this argument, the error and the only one who can tear down this video in Sylphie. Now, I don't dislike her character. I'm sure she's some of your favorite characters. It's not that she's
This is wild. Sylvie is the best female character.
particularly bad written, and it's not like there's anything glaringly wrong with her. It's sort of just like she adheres to most of the negative female tropes in the anime genre, like being committed to Rudis on a really weird level. And look, that's not the end of the world, but she really does have no goals of her own. And I hear you. By that logic, how is Lilia good and Sylphie bad? Well, Lilia can't use magic and isn't on the king's guard of a princess, and I feel there's so much more potential for her character. She's sort of just there, and I get her personality is timid, but she doesn't do anything to stand out. And she is a nice character, but being the main female lead and so strongly just simping for the main character, not having any moment of her own that stands out, with no character defining moment, the whole argument of strong female characters with depth and unique attributes kind of goes out the window with her. But like I said, she's definitely not.
This is crazy. I wonder if this is like the most common perception if you've run this in the anime, because you really do skip a lot of Sylphie stuff. Like all of her point of view chapters are just gone, right? Well, they're like condensed into one episode. So I guess I can understand if you, because if the majority of the scenes that we see of her in the anime at least are purely from Rudius's perspective, right? I don't know. I guess I could see how you could interpret it like this.
Not a bad character, but for being one of the leading females, there was just a lot of room for her to have moments, at least. With all that being said, I still do feel like Mishoku Tensei has one of the best casts in the medium, if not the best, because no other cast has the amount of variability and depth as this one, with almost every character having important moments that affect the world, the narrative, and the main character, with many of them stealing the limelight from Rudis time and time again. So don't worry too much about what I said about Sylphie being bad. So check out this video on why anime doesn't hit the same anymore, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and
Crazy. My goodness. You know what? Small YouTuber. They're trying. Okay, the editing was good. Narration was good. It was engaging throughout. I don't think the ideas were... I don't think the... I don't agree with it. I think it was badly written. But other than that, a good video, I guess I'll say. We reckon the Black Clover community with this one. Crazy. You can never escape Acolyte. That is true. The biggest... Probably the most controversial TV show that I've ever seen in my whole life. Can't think of anything else that was more controversial. It's worse than... Oh, it's more controversial than The Last of Us. It's more controversial than Game of Thrones final season. More controversial than The Last Jedi. I guess that's like the Holy Trinity, right? Like, now there's the Acolyte. Oh my god, Mr. Beast. 50 YouTubers fight for $1 million. Oh, we're watching this live right now, guys. Oh my god, I'm on the edge of my seat. 50 YouTubers fight for $1 million. You know, if this was shorter, I would absolutely just watch it now. But like, I don't want to spend 40 minutes watching a Mr. Beast video on stream, okay? Why the boys is scary? Probably because it's just so realistic, right, guys? Anyway, we're taking a break. All right, we're doing a crossword. Enough videos for now. Play without an account. Jesus, it's a massive one today. What is this? Looks like a black hole. Or a white hole, I guess. Goodfellas Group. No idea. Actress Julia something Dreyfus. Absolutely no idea. Club Soda lookalike. This is the hardest one I've ever seen. Jesus. Apple consumer. A fan? An Apple consumer? An Apple head? It has to be a fan, right? I don't know. File sharing option from an Apple device. AirDrop. Oops. AirDrop. Hot beverage dispensers at a breakfast buffet. What the hell is this? What is this? Endured. Naked rodent. Mole rat. No? No, as a naked mole rat. And what it... Aren't all animals naked? What does that even mean? Or is this wrong? No, this would be rat. Then it's not fan. How do you spell mole? Is it just mole rat like that? Or is it two L's? Probably mole, right? M-O-L-E. Okay. The first O in workers O message. What is an O.O.O? Something world, upside down reality. Opposite world? Runners up place. Second place. Workout units in a set. A rep? Reps? Okay. Window, middle, or aisle. Seats. Seat. Tariffs. A tariff? What would a tax? I don't know. A penalty? A percentage? I don't know. Have we done all these? Upside down world. Twosome. A duo. Alright. We're doing okay. I'm not going to get this Goodfellas group. I have no idea what that even means. Men? Maybe? Men? I don't know. I'm not going to get that. Club soda lookalike. I don't know. It's, I don't know. Apple consumer. An E something E. Oh, Eve. It's a Wally reference. Oh my god. Hot beverage dispenser. A endured. I don't think I can get any of these. We're not getting that. Absolutely not. We're not getting a random actress's name. Club soda? I don't even know what that means. What is club? I know what soda is, like a drink, right? Something cider? Slider? Versatile blackjack card. Ace, right? Ace. File sharing, we definitely got that. Hot beverage dispensers at a breakfast club. I feel like there has to be 2 words, right? Trowans. I don't know. Endured. To endure something, or having endured something, is to persist, to take on, to push through, to... Something world, upside down reality. I don't know. All right, let's see if anyone has any options here. The only one I had problems with this was 8 across. 8 across. Oh, I've already done that. I'm a genius. Okay. Wall-E, Christianity. Wall-E... I don't know if Heath is even referring to something here, or if this is like some obscure Wall-E reference here about Christianity and religion in Wall-E. I have no idea. Wall-E leads to Christianity. Well, I have no idea. We're getting some answers here, okay? We're going to reveal the actress's name, because there is no shot I'm ever getting this. Luis. We're not getting that. Okay, tariffs. Levies? Levies, I guess. Tea. Hot beverage dispenser at a breakfast buffet. Tea. I have no idea. Tea. Uns. Club soda look like. Sell. Okay. Endured. Stood? That's the only option, right? Stood? Endured? What? Stone? Stod? Has to be stood, right? I can't do it. I have no idea. It was a Bible question and not a Wall-E question. I understand. Because Eve is from the Bible. Right? Okay. Crazy. EU. It's not men. It just can't be men. Let's reveal this. Mob. That makes more sense. Something world. By... Huh. I don't know. We're revealing another one. O-U-T. I don't know what that means. Celt? I don't know. Celtio? I don't know. Saltio? It can't be two I's in a row though. Celti. Oh my god. Alright, we're gonna reveal this one, I guess. Seltzer? I've never heard of that in my life. Okay. Bizarro? Oh my god. You know what? I can't even blame the quiz this time. You know? These are all single words, I think. They're all decent. I just don't know any of them. So I'm a complete failure today. It's a disappointment. All right. Back to what we were doing. What else do we have to do? Ugh. Are there any tier lists I can do? I don't know. As always, we get the Dune one off. Where are the live ones? They're the more interesting ones. Because we can see what everyone voted for. Oh, look at this. Another smash or pass. Wait, which one have we done before? All kinds of waifus smash or pass 150 ultimate. I don't think we've seen this one. What else is there? FNAF smash or pass a video. Why is it all smash and pass or whatever? Rock band tier list, crazy. Cartoon fathers. Video games. The ultimate hottest woman tier list. Crazy. Cartoon Network programming. That's a good one. Colors. Now that's a genius one. Let's see. So. Black. Black is D tier. Blue's pretty good. This is what I don't even know what this is. Brown, I guess, like similar to black. Green. That's I don't like green either. That can be similar to black and brown. Gray is a pretty versatile color. We like gray. Orange is in the middle. Pink is pretty cool. Purple is pretty sick. Red is a powerful color, but it's in B. White is pretty boring. Yellow is disgusting. We hate yellow. There's the tier list. I am curious what the people are gonna like. So black, white, purple, red, and pink. And people hate brown, just like me. What a riveting tier list. I've already done this, so I'm just not going to do it again. Let's see. True, Powerpuff Girls are great. Clone Wars is great. Samurai Jack is great. Ed, Edd, and Eddy is great. What a great... We love people. People make great decisions. I don't know nothing about rock bands. All kinds of waifus. I don't think I just recognized anyone. Oh, that's Tsubomi from Mob Psycho 100. Do I recognize anyone else? That's Thorfinn's sister. That's the Dryad from Slime. That's Hinata from Slime. That's Milim from Slime. That's Gabiru's sister from Slime, I think. Himiko Toga. Hatsume. Mei Hatsume or something. What is her name? Pinky, right? Or something? Pink Monster or something. That's what her hero name is, isn't it? Eri. Miko. Miss Joke. That character, Explosion Girl. Crazy. Kugisaki is top. Crazy. Alright, no tier list. Why did I bring this up? Oh yeah, I was going through the best female cast. We got this Mr. Beast video. I'll watch this after this, okay? Why the boys is scary. Let's tell me why. Thank God we got a nice content warning here. 1 million views. That's crazy for a small channel. Jesus.
I had a nightmare while doing research for this video. Which was weird because I hadn't had a nightmare after watching something since I was 6 years old. But there I was, 22 years old, literally hyperventilating in my bed because I thought Homelander was going to get me. I didn't even watch an episode of The Boys that night. I was just watching one of those promotional interviews with the cast, and Anthony Starr, the actor for Homelander, was in it. That's just a testament to this guy's acting, how he's crafted a character that everyone fears but is enticed by. And the reason why Homelander is so scary isn't because he's a psychopath with Superman's powers, but because he feels so real. He's not just some mustache twirling villain, he's a three-dimensional character with his own motivations and fears. Fears fueled by the true antagonist of The Boys, entertainment conglomerates. Entertainment conglomerates are bigger companies that own numerous small...
This is crazy. Firstly, I've never experienced any fear from The Boys, not even a little bit. But I guess corporations are the real fear.
companies involved in mass media enterprises. In other words, they're responsible for your childhood. Disney, Paramount, Warner Bros, Comcast. All these companies created colorful characters from your favorite movies, TV shows, coloring books, t-shirts, video games, cooking utensils, fridge magnets, book bags, Lego sets, Funko Pops, posters, costume, ice cream flavors, and car bumper stickers. But why do these companies make so many things based on their characters? Is it because they love their characters so much that they're dedicated to making a crap ton of content related to them? No, they just want your money. Now, should this make you sad or scared? No. Entertainment conglomerates are a business, and like most businesses with a supply and demand, their primary supply is to meet the demand for entertainment. And as long as you're entertained, they'll profit off of it. But the links they'll go to keep you entertained and to maintain their corporate image should make you scared. Because these companies have done a lot of shape the supply and demand, their primary supply...
Oh, did I just like go back? Wait. Jesus.
Have received little to no repercussions. Their power is so overwhelming in both the entertainment industry and the real life industry that the idea of taking them on is kind of dreadful and hopeless. The feeling that's conveyed through both the heroes and villains of The Boys.
Wait, what have the companies done that are so like I don't fear these corporations.
One of the essential themes in Star Wars A New Hope is the small, unlikely protagonist in the form of the Rebels fighting a seemingly unbeatable and opposing force in the form of the Empire. The Boys has a similar theme with the titular Boys and Vought, the main entertainment conglomerate of this universe. Both Vought and the Empire impose a fear of helplessness to the protagonist and the audience, but where do you...
Well, I have no interest in this. Oh my gosh. Just a quick technical update. I know that this video has some sound holes at the beginning of part 2. I've seen some comments referencing it and I'm fully aware. I got a copyright strike conveniently right when the video hit 1 million views at that section. When trying to fix it, YouTube's editing software told me to cut out the audio in those specific sections. I did so thinking I could edit it more efficiently later, but I couldn't, and now it's a permanent problem. I do think that whenever you edit, it generally gives you a backup, I think. I tried reaching out to YouTube, but they probably won't do anything since all of this happened months ago. I could try and upload it, re-upload it, but I don't know what that'll do to my channel since this video is pretty much keeping the channel alive. I'll have to consider my options in the near future, but I just wanted to put this out there so everyone is on the same page. Crazy. You know, it's a young man, okay, we can forgive him. He has a great career ahead of him, okay? But you know what? I don't know if this video is keeping this channel alive. We're not getting many views here. I guess these ones are getting quite a few, you know, in the thousands. Crazy. All right, is that the end of this stream? Is there anything else I could possibly do? Any videos I'm interested in? The Boys, Acolyte. We watched the Mushoku Tensei one. Factorio teaches you software engineering. Seriously? I doubt it. Some True Detective video. Oh yeah, the greatest anime fight never made. Hisoka versus Crawler. This sounded interesting. And when I say sounded interesting, literally what I just read out combined with the thumbnail sounded interesting. Oh my god, but more interesting than that, let's get rid of Crawler. Oh my gosh.
Do you remember this?
With the world as the weirdest episode of Game of Thrones. I have no idea what this is going to be about. Is it going to be a review? Is it going to be trying to determine what the weirdest episode is?
Vast as Westeros and characters as strong as Tyrion.
Look at this cool aspect ratio, by the way. Isn't that crazy?
Arya and Cersei, among many others. Game of Thrones is packed, filled, stuffed with iconic moments and some of the best storytelling and filmmaking TV has to offer. And while I treasure episodes such as Baelor, The Reigns of Castamere, The Laws of Gods and Men, Battle of the Bastards, and The Winds of Winter,
what is this effect for like copyright or something?
For being amongst the greatest feats in television history, there's another much less mentioned and respected episode that I always think about, maybe even more than some of its more iconic ones, not because it's some massive spectacle, no, but because it's so weird, so at odds with what Game of Thrones is.
Oh my god, is it a season 8 episode? Oh my gosh.
The episode in question is A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the second episode of the show's 8th and final season, named after this moment, which we will cover later, as well as a series of novellas by George R. R. Martin, also known as Tales of Dunk and Egg. The episode, set entirely in Winterfell, follows our central characters, Jon, Daenerys, Jaime, Tyrion, et al.
I think this episode came out the same day that Endgame came out, right? That's like the one thing I remember about this episode. Let's have a look. Endgame release date. Australia, 24th of April, 2019. And then A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, 21st of April, 2019. So I guess it came out the same week, right? Like this episode came out and then Endgame came out. Because I remember when I was waiting in line for Endgame, I was talking to my friends about this episode of Game of Thrones. Crazy.
As they essentially prepare to die before the long-awaited Battle of Ice and Fire between the Alliance of the Living Armies and the Army of the Dead. And maybe that doesn't sound like the weirdest Game of Thrones episode ever. I mean, in terms of what goes on during the episode from a plot standpoint, there are plenty of much weirder things that have happened throughout the show than in this episode. Podrick being an absolute sex god, the Red Woman turning into the old lady from The Shining, Ed Sheeran having a little bit more than a cameo the season prior. So let me clarify what I mean by weird, strange, crazy, whatever I chose for the title of this video. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is the strangest Game of Thrones episode because it doesn't act like a Game of Thrones episode. In fact, it refuses to.
Where are you going?
I'm not spending my final hours with you two miserable old shits.
For one, it's a bottle episode.
Bottle episode.
Not literally, but the closest Thrones ever got. For those unfamiliar with the term, a bottle episode is a TV episode commonly set in a confined space with minimal characters, sets, and effects. Like this one.
Who's Cartwright? I'm Cartwright.
Or Fly from Breaking Bad. Is he going to use that example?
You're not Cartwright. Of course I'm not Cartwright!
This one.
Crazy. Wait, is it, what's another one? What's another famous one? Has he seen Doctor Who? Because I'm sure Doctor Who has some bottle episodes like Midnight. Lost probably has a bottle episode. I can't think of it. Wait, let's see what it is.
And of course this one.
I haven't even seen Community. I don't know.
Okay, guys, hey, guys, stop! You're being completely illogical! We need to flip the table, divide the group by gender, and then search each other in our door.
Bottle episodes are typically performed as a cost-saving measure when production teams have exceeded their budgets on previous episodes or need to save money for future ones. Taking place at Winterfell with no action and limited sets, and produced with what I would have to gather is a much cheaper price tag, relatively speaking, the episode is undeniably smaller, even if it doesn't exactly meet the definition of a bottle episode. Being the episode before the Long Night and the final battles for Westeros, the placement of a bottle episode makes a lot of sense here, but it's very odd for the show, being something that Thrones simply never does. Game of Thrones prides itself in its expansive world building and having to follow 100 characters around that world, but all these characters are pretty much here.
But then you would also have to say that the season 4 Battle of the Wall episode is a bottle episode too, right? Which would make this not as weird. Like that, if anything, that is a weird episode, right? Because you're not even following a bunch of different characters like this. You're just following the Night's Watch, right?
And even episodes like Blackwater or Battle of the Bastards, which anchor themselves to major events in one core location, feature massive sets and loads of visual effects.
Yeah, what about the Battle at the Wall one, right?
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is people talking.
You're not angry at me. I'm not angry at
What is that episode called? It was like Battle at the Wall or something like that, right? It wasn't the finale, right? The second last one, I think. The Watchers on the Wall. This was like the single battle, small cast of characters, few locations. If anything, this is way more of a bottle episode and way weirder than this episode, right?
Anyone.
Why didn't you tell them?
You won't be able to help us in this fight if I let them murder you first.
As the best bottle episodes do, the format allows Thrones to really focus on character development, along with its chief goal of building up even more hype for the Battle of Ice and Fire. With no major plot, and being very much a breather episode, lighter and calmer in tone, the characters get to be characters, often more live and definitely more introspective than they are usually presented. Being the darkest hour of the show, we really get to see how the characters handle dread, how they feel and act knowing that this may be their last night ever. Brienne stays very much in the present, focusing on training for the battle at hand. Jon, Sam, and Ed reminisce about the past, and Grey Worm and Missandei look to the future. It's a very smart decision to do a stripped-down, character-focused bottle episode, given the fact that we're predicting that many of these characters who we've been with for up to 8 seasons will likely die in the next episode, which makes these dialogue-heavy, this may be the last time we see each other moments, feel all the more special. Lamely, in the Long Night, the next episode, that does not end up being the case. Literally no one important in this episode dies, but looking at this episode...
See, now I don't remember the details that much, but didn't Jorah die? Or did Jorah survive? I don't know.
Removed to that context, has there ever been a more effective and satisfying implementation of the breather episode? Especially within the context of the 8th season, whose back half felt so unbearably rushed and half-assed, how great is it that this episode wasn't scrapped and turned into some lame, getting ready to fight montage scene of all the characters arriving at Winterfell, hugging, training, and swiftly getting thrown into battle. That being said, despite taking its time and prioritizing character building scenes over plot building ones, the episode is certainly not going to bore you to sleep and features quite a few massively important moments. Through Bran, we get to finally understand the Night King's motivations, essentially to kill Bran, the Three-Eyed Raven, to remove all traces of humanity from the world. We have a meeting between Sansa and Daenerys, which opens up the question of what would happen to the North if the now allies were to win the war against the Night King and overthrow Cersei. We also get the final scene of the episode where Jon reveals to Daenerys his true identity as Aegon Targaryen.
When I was a child,
which opens up the question.
Time story. About the man who murdered our father.
I really like the opening of the episode, which places a powerless Jaime Lannister on trial before a council of just about every one of his enemies. Despite a particularly pissed Daenerys and a wisely skeptical Sansa, Brienne vouches for him, recalling the time that Jaime saved her from being raped, which ended up costing him his sword-wielding hand, labeling him a man of honor. And this is another reason why this episode feels so weird, so off-brand for Thrones. It's, dare I say, warm? Bran forgiving Jaime, Theon reuniting with Sansa, Jon broing out with the Northern homies. There's an overwhelming amount of tenderness and feel-good moments. And there's no greater example of this in the episode or damn near the entire show than the final scenes at the fireplace with Tyrion, Jaime, Brienne, Podrick, Davos, and Tormund. It's a pretty bizarre conglomeration of characters, especially the inclusion of Tormund, whose giant smoke story followed by insanely aggressive chugging seems like a joke idea that the showrunners just let slip into the final cut for no other reason other than to be different.
Or to be funny, right? I thought it was funny. See, if we were watching the blind wave reaction right now, they'd be dying of laughter, I'm sure.
Maybe I will have that drink.
Despite being an odd hangout sesh group on the surface, Tyrion points out that each of these characters at some point had fought against the Starks and are now fighting alongside each other to defend their castle. He also brings up the different battles the group has survived, using them as a way to argue why the group might live. This recognition is a great reflective summary of the show, which feels somehow both epic and personal, which is what Game of Thrones is at its best. The scene eventually leads to a conversation revolving around women being unable to be knighted. Brienne asserts that it's against tradition, to which Tormund counters with a fuck that. Jaime then chimes in, arguing that any knight can knight another knight, and offers to do so for Brienne. Along with being just so damn heartwarming, the knighting feels almost too fitting for these two characters, each having earned their right for this moment. Brienne gets to be the knight she always dreamt to be, and always acted as, and Jaime gets his triumphant redemption moment, as it shows that he can truly care about someone as a friend. The other characters watching and clapping in respect also really builds up this emotional moment, each character being among the most respectable in the show, each in different ways, people that you really just can't not root for. And I know Game of Thrones is awesome because of the world building, the battles, the dragons, Ned getting his head chopped off and Oberyn getting his head crushed, but I would gladly accept and be thankful for just 30 more minutes of this, seeing these characters contemplate their own mortality, glug on some wine, and shoot the shit. And I think it's when you have that you know that your show is truly great. The performances in the scene and others throughout the episode all feel like the actors are at their best, or trying to be. You really get the sense that much of the cast had to have been emotional sharing these final moments together on camera and using these very genuine emotions as fuel for their characters, who are also similarly embracing an uncertain future and perhaps more accurately, an imminent demise. So wait, do I actually love this episode? I guess I never said that I didn't. I like Strange, and Strange makes good TV. It's why every discussion of any acclaimed show ever features the same overused descriptor, subversive, and I'm guilty of that as
well. That's not always true, okay? For instance, in Doctor Who, we have the episode Sleep No More that is very different. It's from a first-person camera perspective. It's taking place in another universe entirely, another version of our universe, and people hate it. Worst episode of Doctor Who.
Well, don't get me wrong. I think I'm well within the majority and my rights as a TV consumer when it comes to my hate for the rest of the final season. I had thought the show was already going downhill with the season 7 episode Beyond the Wall, the one where they go beyond the wall, but season 8 is everything that critics and fans have expressed that it is. It's rushed, it's lazy, it's so poorly done that I didn't even want to watch the final 2 episodes at all because I feared that it would completely ruin the show for me and I didn't want to remember it at its lowest. But season 8, episode 2, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, given the least amount of plot or big moments amongst all the episodes in the final season, illustrates, depressingly, that season 8 really could have been great if it simply slowed down a little, stayed true to its characters and their journeys, and let everyone just have a little bit of fun.
Would you like a drink? Brought my own.
This is Come Watch TV. Thank you for watching, and...
Crazy. Is it time for a Game of Thrones rewatch? Maybe season 8 actually wasn't that bad. Who knows? Anyway, that's that. End of this stream. Who knows when I'll stream next? It could be tomorrow. It could be in a few hours. It's probably not in a few hours. It could be on Tuesday. Probably not Monday, because that's when House of the Dragon is. Probably not on Wednesday, because that's when Chainsaw Man is. Probably not on Thursday, because maybe we'll be doing Gunbuster, or maybe that'll be a week from now. Who knows? Anyway. See you then.